You can run toward gunfire and still struggle to walk into your own living room.
You can lead under pressure and not know how to talk to your family.
We've lived that tension.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a retired Army veteran, a law enforcement chaplain, a mental health professional, an assistant team leader in a hostage and crisis negotiation team, a husband, and most importantly, a father.
And I'm Sarah. I'm the wife and mom who holds the line at home.
We've seen what trauma does, what silence costs, and what faith can rebuild.
We're here to talk to you about the part that nobody trains you for.
Welcome to After the Call. Welcome back to After the Call with John and Sarah, and it is episode 9, part 2.
I am so proud of you. Just then, did you hear yourself?
Yes.
Welcome back to that.
Sat here for 20 minutes rehearsing while we waited for you to come in here.
Good work. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Hello.
So we are picking back up where we left off, but quick update. The Yankees beat the Rangers again, so it was 2-0, so we get not one, but 2 steak dinners from Chief Steve Smith and his barbecue company. So it is a great day. To Justin Price, I still love you, even though we won again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everybody loves the pinstripes.
Well, I am sporting pinstripes today, but
You
for
are.
a very different reason.
We have our last softball game tonight.
Last softball game. The Dirt Diamonds are headed to the championship.
We're headed to the playoffs. Let's not
We're
get
headed
ahead
to
of
the
ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Well, we're headed to the playoffs and then hopefully the championships.
Yep.
We shall see.
This Sunday is Mother's Day,
Yes, it is.
but also we have Donkey Therapy.
Which at first I was like, crap. I have to spend my Mother's Day with the donkeys. And then I actually told a friend at dinner last night, I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, who would want to just relax with some cute animals on Mother's Day?
Well, yeah, and if you have issues, they're the perfect people to
Are you saying I have issues?
say
Silence.
silence.
All right, let's get on track here. We are continuing our session about burnout that we began last week and just felt like we didn't have enough time to devote for the rest of it.
Well, we talked for an hour and 30 minutes.
We
And we
did.
said, hey, let's take this on because we probably could have gone another 2 hours.
Yeah, but it's an important subject, and
Yeah.
so I think breaking it up into 2 parts is okay.
So last week we talked about Burnout Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
deep internal plus trauma,
Mm-hmm.
relationship plus isolation, brain science, which was really good,
Mm-hmm.
and conditioning. And we left off on spiritual burnout. And
Mm-hmm.
people are like, spiritual burnout? What? So you can be burnt out in anything.
Mhm.
You can be burnt out if, you go to church constantly and you're not getting anything out of it. You're not getting fed. You're not doing anything. And you're literally just going and sitting in the stands or sitting in the auditorium in the seats. And you're just not getting anything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're just going through the motions and basically, like, everybody's doing it, so I'm doing it too.
yeah, and you're not getting anything out of it, which is not a good place to be.
Mm-hmm.
It
Or
really-
you're on the flip side of that, and maybe you are burnt out because you're doing too much in the church. Maybe you're volunteering every Sunday and counseling people and doing all of the things, but forgetting to feed yourself.
Right. So, we have talked about the body. We've talked about the mind.
Mhm.
And now we're going to talk about, and we've talked about relationships. But now we're going to talk somewhere where people want to avoid.
Yeah.
And this, people, they don't really want to talk about their relationships, but they don't want to talk about their minds. They don't want to talk about relationships.
Mhm.
They don't want to talk about any of that stuff, but they really don't want to talk about where they are spiritually.
Yeah.
And that turns a lot of people off. So, whatever you believe, at the end of the day, as long as you believe in something, that's what matters.
Mhm.
Rather believe in something and die and have something there than die and nothing be there.
Mhm.
And be like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I stand firm on my faith because if I'm wrong, that sucks.
Yeah.
But if I'm right, that really
Yeah.
sucks for someone else.
Right.
So,
Because burnout isn't just physical. It's not just mental. it's not just emotional. For a lot of us, it's spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have been spiritually burnt out in the past where I was just like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to anything. I don't want to do anything.
Turn it back down.
I
think it sounded better when you had it down.
It's one of those things.
Because you think you're doing the right thing. You think you're serving the church, you're serving God, you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. But then you're burnt out, and then you feel, I know when I felt burnt out spiritually, it's the part of my life where I felt the most guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, why would I ever be burnt out from serving God when he does so much for me?
Right.
So I think it's a place where a lot of people feel guilt.
And this is the part where it all gets confusing, because you can still believe and be burnt out, and you still feel completely disconnected at the same time.
Yep. That's what we talked about just going through the motions. Like,
right.
Everybody goes to church on Sunday, so I guess I'm there. My wife is dragging me. My husband is dragging me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes my kids are dragging me, but I'm not really there to actually listen for God's voice.
It's funny we're talking about this with Mother's Day being this weekend, because what are the 4 times a year that people go to church? They go to church during Christmas, they go to church during Easter, and they go to church on Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm. You had 4 reasons. You used to go to church.
Most people. If
well, your 4th was to make me happy.
Right. If you ever wanted to feel happy, it was that time you would go.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it and talking to different people, that's the 4 times they go to church.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of they're burnt out or anything like that. It's just a matter of they just don't feel comfortable in the setting. Mm-hmm. So I didn't stop believing in God. I just didn't feel anything when I thought about him anymore. And that's where I was for a long time. I knew God was there. I didn't have a relationship with him. I knew he was the higher power, and I knew where things were going, but I didn't, it just didn't work. It wasn't where I thought it needed to be. So,
and that's not rebellion. That's not walking away. That's just exhaustion. Like, a lot of times I could tell your faith was there, but it was distant and it wasn't active anymore. And that wasn't just before you became a believer. That was, I can remember just a few years ago, you were fully involved on a church staff, go, go, go. You were running with everything you had, and you were completely burnt out. No one in the building knew it but me, because I know you, but I think a lot of people can do that. They can put on that face like, I've got this, we're the perfect little family, we're wearing our Sunday best, we're serving Jesus, we're doing the things, and inside, mentally, you have nothing left to give.
Right. And that's a spot where a lot of us end up, because we're at that point where we're just like, I really don't want to do this. Do I have to get up and go? Do I have to do this?
As someone who's been burnt out, and this is not in the thing that you wrote down, but as someone who's been in burnout spiritually, could you tell? Do you remember a time where you felt yourself getting burnt out?
Oh,
like
100%.
If you could go back and give yourself some advice, do you remember that time when you went from I'm going because I want to and I need to and I feel, spiritually fed, to when you felt like I'm done.
I'd rather just stay in bed than get up and go. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
100%.
They say hindsight's 20/20. Do you have like a time that you remember where you were just like, absolutely not?
I think that time comes more often than not, where you're doing so much for other people and no one's doing anything for you. And you literally are just giving. And then all of a sudden you're just like, I don't have anything else to give.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
So you literally just stop, or you just don't get out of bed on Sunday, or you go and you pull your phone out and you play a game while the pastor's talking or whatnot. Or you're just disengaged because you're literally Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday or Monday through Saturday or whatever it is, and you're pouring into people and you're reading stuff and you're doing stuff and you're connected with God, but you just don't want to listen to another man.
Yeah, people are draining.
People are draining.
Mm-hmm.
People, and there's a great book out there about being an emotional vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is where it is, because people just latch onto you and they just suck and suck and suck and suck and suck and suck. And then when they're done with you, they just push you away and you're like, I don't have anything left to give.
Yeah.
And you literally are like, okay, what the hell do I do? Where do I go from here?
Yeah, I had someone tell me once, because I'm a giver by nature, you know that. But I had someone tell me once, givers only speak give and takers only speak take.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you are listening to a taker and they're taking, they don't even think to give, which to me is like a foreign language, because as a giver, I would never think to just take from someone. But if it's the only language you speak, it's the only language you know. So we have to be careful. But
it's a real place. And and if you've ever been there, you know how unsettling it feels.
Mm-hmm.
You start questions like, why don't I feel anything?
Mm-hmm.
Why does this feel different than it used to?
Yep.
Did I lose something? And those, those aren't just spiritually, but even emotional or burnout at work or whatnot. You start to ask those questions. You're like, why the hell do I need to get up and go to work today? I just don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And you run into that.
You just kind of lost your spark.
Right. And the truth is, you didn't lose your faith. You just got buried underneath everything you've been carrying.
Mm.
It's that emotional rucksack, or like...
It's like we were talking about last week with the racehorse versus mule horse.
Yes.
I think it was last week that we were talking about that, but it's like a racehorse is meant to run fast, and a mule horse is meant to carry a lot of things. But the difference between the racehorse and the mule horse is a racehorse can run the race fast because he's not carrying everything.
Yeah.
If a mule horse wasn't carrying everything, he'd probably go just as fast. Mm-hmm. But when we allow ourselves to be packed down by everything, whether it's work, family, church obligations, all the things that are pulling at us, we just get packed down. And you get buried under everything you've been carrying.
Right. And that's where, the next part rolls into is spiritual numbness. Mm-hmm. Let's call it what it is. It's spiritual numbness. You can still know the truth. You still believe the truth. But you don't feel connected to it at all.
Yeah.
You just become numb.
Yeah.
And, you can take and remove the spiritual word from like this next part, and you can put in work. You can put in job. You can put in anything, because it's just one thing after another. Yeah. And you get to that point where you're just like...
You're numb and just going through the motions.
Yeah. You're numb. And, today we're calling it spiritual numbness. Mm. And it's one of those things.
Well, I think spiritual numbness is a good description, only because it breaks your spirit. Mm-hmm. Like they say, when your spirit's broken, you're mentally, physically. Mm-hmm. When your spirit's broken, you're just broken. And I think numbness is a dangerous place to be too, because when you're numb, I mean, that means you don't feel anything. You read, but it just doesn't hit the same way. You pray, but it doesn't feel quite as good. Mm-hmm. You try to stay engaged, but it just feels off. Mm-hmm. I would sit there and try to pray, and I would feel like my words weren't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. Or I would sit in church and I would just be like, why am I sitting here? Yeah. And I have a really hard time, and this is gonna call out a whole variety of pastors. If you don't walk on the stage with your Bible, get your ass off the stage. Yeah, I totally agree with you. You're not. You can say, "Oh, well, I have my words and I have my notes, PowerPoint, and I have no." Pastor Ed from Community Bible Church in San Antonio always had his Bible with him every time he'd walk on stage. And the man had the funniest version of notes that I'd ever seen. Mm-hmm. He would take the card and he would be like,
this the whole time. Because it would be like in a circle. His ADHD or his dyslexia would like do it, and he would just have it, and he would be churning it as he was on stage.
Right.
But he would literally have that Bible wherever he went, and he could read from it.
Well, and I think this can go to our military and our first responders that may be moving around or looking for a church home. Some advice we got once, was what John said. Like if you walk into a church and the pastor walks up on the stage or the pulpit or the whatever you have it, and he walks up there and he does not have a Bible in his hand, just walk out. Just be done. And another big thing is I had a friend of mine tell me, look around
How many people have their
people are
Bibles?
carrying their Bibles, and not just their Bibles on their phones, because of course we're using our smartphones and we're doing that, and that's all amazing. But during the service, who is actually opening their Bible? Or does your pastor say, get ready and turn with me to this verse?
Yeah. Hey, we're going to be here
Yeah.
today. Or, hey, we're going to be there today.
Yeah. Because as a lover of all things Bible study, I think you can get wrapped up in one man's opinion of the Bible. And if you don't have your own Bible, you're not looking it up for yourself.
Right. And that's the point. Yeah, you're meant to get fed at church. You're meant to study after you leave church.
Right.
If the message isn't resounding in your house to the next Sunday, there's a problem.
Yeah, I totally agree.
If you go to church and you're like, man, that message was great. We've had Madison, who's at Texas Tech, call us and say, hey, did you guys hear Pastor Ed this week? He talked about da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She's in Lubbock. He's in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But still, those messages reside to where...
And they also cause you to ask your own questions. Like, I think a good message at church is one that doesn't give you all of the answers on Sunday. It makes you want to go home and say, was he correct when he was saying that? Or I should go check it out myself.
And, a lot of pastors use the same version of the Bible. Like when I applied with Samaritan's Purse. Hey, you better get used to using the New King James version, because that's what Franklin used it, and then it passed down to his son, and so on and so on. Where I'm an ESV New Translation guy, and that's 100% because of my dyslexia.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where...
But it's also get yourself a Bible just because someone next to you has a certain version. Get one that speaks to you.
Right.
It's like that large print Bible that I never want to carry anywhere because...
You mean the one that's over there on the shelf?
Yeah. I always carry my small print Bible because I have a large print Bible that John says there's only 20 words on the page. There is more than 20 words on the page, but
35.
It is a big, large print Bible. Shout out to all of you who are getting older.
I have a New King James version right there that I think the font is 20. It's huge.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And I'm waiting for another person to ask me for one so I can give it to them.
So if you are sitting in church and you see that person with the large font Bible, just mind your business.
Give them props.
Mind your business.
Because here's what happens. When your mind is overloaded and your emotions are suppressed, your ability to engage spiritually gets affected too.
That makes sense.
Which, it goes to what we've been talking about for the last few minutes of, as we go into this, it definitely is the numbness feeling that happens.
Because it's not that God moved, it's that your capacity to connect with God got overwhelmed.
Yeah. I don't say this is going to piss people off. Who cares? I must have missed it where God went into the coffee shop and had coffee with the disciples.
What do you mean?
Like, when did we become a place where we have full-blown Starbucks in the coffee place? Or we're more concerned on what coffee is being served than we are
what the message is.
What Jesus is talking about.
We should be able to sit in a dirt hut in the hot Texas sun and the message should resonate as much as it does down the street at the.
And I think the best messages come from home churches, where people are at home, they're taking their Bible and they're reading, and they have their whole family and they have their friends together, and they literally go off of what Scripture says, and they stick to with what Scripture says. And I'm not talking about the ones that are like, oh, well, we've converted to Judaism, and we're going to do that, and we're going to celebrate Shabbat on Sundays, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And then when you ask them a Jewish question, they're like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we're talking about like just genuine Bible study with your family.
Yeah. Not, and hey, if you want to do that, cool, but keep it traditional. They didn't have steak. They didn't have, 5-course meals. They had chicken or fish.
Like we do when we do like Road to Bethlehem dinners.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, oh, by the way, they didn't have silverware. It wasn't invented yet. Sorry.
So let's get into another, because if you are numb, then sometimes you can get yourself stuck in performance-based faith. Because for people, sometimes there's that other layer. Like you're good at everything else, so you want to be good at the spiritual thing, and you think about it as performance. You start thinking, I should be stronger than this. I should have more faith than this. I shouldn't be struggling like this. And without realizing it, your relationship with God becomes performance-based.
And also with that too, if you're working off duties and you're working off duty at a church and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I only get fed when I'm here on Sundays working, you're not really getting fed. It's more for performance-based where you're getting seen.
Yeah.
You're not really paying attention.
Yeah, get in a service and sit with your family.
Yeah, because you're paying attention to what's going on. Yes, you may be listening to the message, and I'm not saying you're not, but you're literally focused on protecting the principal, which is the pastor on the stage, not what he's saying, but looking for threats in the audience to see if someone's going to try to hurt him. So you start to think, I should be stronger than this. Said that before. I should have more faith than this. Said that before. I shouldn't be struggling like this. Why? Where in the Bible does it say I'm not going to struggle?
Right. The Bible says you will have struggles.
You're either going into a storm, you're in the storm,
or you're
coming out of the storm. But guess what? There's another storm on the horizon.
Right.
And without realizing it, your relationship with God becomes performance-based. I felt like I was always failing, like I wasn't where I was supposed to be spiritually. And that gets heavy after a while. It makes you start to ask questions.
Oops, sorry.
Because now you're not just dealing with the burnout, you're dealing with the guilt on top of the burnout.
So I think for us personally, I used to think John would put pressure on himself to be okay with every aspect of his life, even spiritually. So it's like, maybe you're married to a first responder that believes, if I just push through another day at work, I'll be fine. If I just get through this next call, I'll be fine. If I just can, it's if I just can. And I feel like sometimes we do that with God too. If I just can get through this service, if I just can go and listen. But the problem with that is the pressure, it doesn't bring you closer to God. It pushes you further away.
Right, 100%.
So let's talk about God and the exhaustion.
I want to shift something here because this matters. God is not waiting for you to get it together before he meets you. He will meet you in exhaustion. I used to tell people all the time that would tell me, well, how can God love me because of what I did downrange? Or how can God love me because of the shooting? Or, whatever it is. And I would say, God never leaves you. He's literally sitting on your heart with a glass of iced tea, just waiting for you. And you're like, well, that's kind of simple. You're keeping it real base. Because we overcomplicate it because we go spend thousands of dollars at a stupid-ass seminary
Right.
to become the all-knowing
Yeah.
of God. In reality, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. I think human beings make God way too complicated.
100%.
I don't think he ever intended for our relationship with him to be so complicated. I think the enemy just wants us to live in complication, and he wants us to, like you said, he's there, just come.
Yep. If you look at the scripture, you will see this pattern over and over again. People at their lowest, people in their most depleted, that big word, and at their most overwhelmed, which we see over and over again throughout Jesus' parables of different things.
Right.
And that's where God shows up. Look at Indigo, Rashak.
Are you talking about Shadrach, Meshach,
Yeah, there
and
we go.
Abednego? You're
My
so good at those Bible names.
My mind just went completely blank in the middle of that. I apologize to everybody. But think about it. God didn't pull him out of the fire.
No.
He got in the fire with him.
Yeah.
Look at Daniel in the lion's den. He could have pulled Daniel out of the lion's den, but he didn't. He left him there.
Do you remember, this is a little off the subject, but do you remember when Mackenzie was little and we were living in Germany and she went to that vacation Bible school?
Yes.
And she came running in the house and she was so excited to tell us about these 3 guys that they told her a story about. And we were like, okay, Mackenzie, what was it? And she was like, well, their names were, I don't know, Shad something, me something, and Bendigo. Yeah, that's the guy's name. He was Bendigo. And they were in a fiery furniture store. And we were just like, honey, I think it was a fiery furnace.
Nope,
and she was convinced that that God had met these 3 men in the fiery furniture store.
It was in Germany, though, so it could have been a furniture store.
I mean, I don't know. You never know. You never know.
But, at all times, if you look at, God sends Moses to Egypt to confront Pharaoh, to pull those people out. God could have snapped his fingers and pulled them all out.
Right.
He didn't, though.
Right.
He sent his messenger in. Go to the New Testament. Same thing again. God sends his only begotten son to do what? Sacrifice for all of us.
Yeah.
And what does he say on the cross? It is done.
It is finished.
So, literally over and over again, we see that pattern form.
Right.
If you read the book of Psalms, I'm going to break this down easy for you. You read the book of Psalms. One is him feeling sorry for himself. The next one is him praising. Flip the page. Him feeling sorry for himself. The next one, he's praising God.
Well, and don't you think that's how a lot of us are? Like, oh, this sucks. Oh, never mind. That wasn't so bad. Because I think a lot of us feel like we need to fix ourselves. I have a lot of people that refuse to connect with God because they think that they have to clean their own personal house and get it all fixed before they invite him in. And he doesn't want to do that.
So that's a common belief. And it's also not true. You don't clean yourself up to reconnect. You reconnect so you can be restored. Here's an Elijah moment, a deep reflection. I want to take you to a moment because this is one of the clearest pictures of burnout in Scripture. Elijah, a man who had just experienced a massive victory, finds himself completely burnt out right after. He's exhausted, he's overwhelmed, and he literally says, I've had enough. Not that I'm tired, not that I need a break. I've had enough. That's not weakness. That's
depletion.
He literally was depleted. And what does God do? Does God correct him? Does God lecture him? Does he tell him to be harder? To suck it up? To not seek help? No. He lets him rest. He feeds him. He restores him. And then he speaks to him.
That's interesting. So God lets him rest and he provides food for him and he restores him and then he speaks to him. Because I think a lot of people have that backwards. They think God's going to speak to me and then I'm going to feel restored. Maybe we just need to rest in God's grace and then wait for his voice.
That's powerful, because a lot of us have been trying to push through something. I won't call you out this week. Tactical Jenga. But that's that you were meant to recover from. So disconnection versus abandonment. Let's clear something up, because this is important. There's a difference between feeling disconnected and feeling abandoned. A lot of us get that feeling and we don't know where it's from. So you might feel distant, you might feel numb, you might feel like something's off, but that doesn't mean you've been left. Looking back, I think God went anywhere. I think I just lost the ability to recognize it. And that's insight. That's awareness. And that's where things start to shift. So rebuilding that spiritual connection. It's not a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
God's probably in there saying that. Can you hear me now?
So how do you come back from that? How do you rebuild something that feels distant? Not through pressure, not through pretending, but through 100% honesty. Real, simple honesty. Instead of trying to sound strong, you say, I'm tired. I don't feel connected. I don't even know what to say right now. And that's enough.
And I think that's when the shift can happen, is when things become real instead of force. That's it. Real over perfect. Honest over polished.
So, as we keep going through this, let's talk about identity restoration. Now that we're bringing this full circle, because this is where identity gets rebuilt. And a lot of us have identity issues. So it's not just your job. It's not just your role.
You are not just your job.
Oh yeah, you're not just your job. You're not just your role. You're not just what you've been through. You are still who you were created to be. And even though you don't know who you were created to be, you're still there. Even if you feel disconnected from that right now. I started realizing I had lost sight of who I was outside of everything I was carrying. That's realization, and that's the beginning of restoration. So here's the hard truth, and some of you, this is going to hit hard. So if you need to pull over on the side of the road, go ahead. I'm not going to say...
I'm going to say.
I'm going to say something direct to you, because this is what matters. If you only address burnout physically, you will still feel empty. If you only address the mental, you will still feel disconnected. If you only address the relationshiply, you will still feel something is missing. If you have to address all of it, including your spirit, transformation. So now we've talked about it. Your body, your mind, your relationship, your brain, and your spirit. So we've talked about all 5 of those now. We've hit them home pretty good. But if you're only addressing the physical, burnout physically, you're still going to feel empty. If you only address it mentally, if you still feel disconnected, if you only address the relationshiply, you will still feel something is missing. You have to address all of it. All of it. That's where counseling comes in. That's where biblical counseling comes in. That's where secular counseling comes in. And that's where John Master Life Coaches and Counseling comes in.
So now we've talked about your body, your mind, your relationships, your brain, and your spirit. And maybe for the first time, you're seeing the full picture. Not just pieces, the whole thing.
And now we get to the question everyone is asking at this point. How do I actually come back from this? How do I rebuild? After burnout has already set in, and where we're going next.
That's where we're going next.
That's where we're going next. So we're going to dive in here to part 6. Recovery, rebuilding the identity, and then our final charge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you've stayed with the conversation thus far, and that means you've listened to part 1 and now part 2.
2.5.
Then something in you, something in this hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Not just
Intellectually.
Personally, because we don't just talk about burnout as an idea. We walked through what it actually looks like, what it does, how it affects your body, your mind, and your relationship, and of course your spirit. Mm-hmm. Now we get to the question that matters most. What do you do about it?
Mm-hmm. Because awareness is important, but awareness alone doesn't change anything.
No, it does not.
It just shows you where you are. And for some of you, where you are right now is heavy.
So once I started seeing it clearly, I couldn't ignore it anymore. It was right there in my face.
Yep, and that's the turning point. Not when everything is fixed, but when you stop pretending nothing is wrong. Because things won't change overnight, but they start changing when they're acknowledged. And that's where this starts, an acknowledgement.
So the Jump Master Reset, let's go back to the framework we've been using, the Jump Master motto. But this time, we aren't just identifying the breakdown. We are rebuilding the system. Check your equipment, check yourself, and check your buddy. It's not just a slogan, it's a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So, rebuilding your equipment. Let's start with your equipment again. Because some of you are still trying to fix deep burnout, while your basic system are still broken. You can't overwork exhaustion. You can't out-discipline depletion. You can't out-faith a body that is shutting down. I thought it was just pushing harder and it would get better, but it didn't. Not even in a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's because pushing harder is what got me here. Mm-hmm. So rebuilding equipment looks like this. Sleep that is intentional and not accidental. Nutrition that fuels, not just fills the body. Time that includes recovery, not just responsibility.
It's not going to be one big change. It's small things done consistently. That's how this works. Not dramatic, but consistent. Because I think that what you said, especially with the time that includes recovery, not just responsibility, mm-hmm. Your time off needs to rebuild you. Mm-hmm. Physically, mentally, spiritually. It can't just be responsibility of running from here, point A to point B, all the things, and then just thinking, oh, well, I should feel rested. Mm-hmm. It can't just be about your responsibility.
Well, that's why it says sleep is intentional, not accidental.
So it's not those little cat naps on the couch. It's an actual, going to bed. Mm-hmm.
Going to bed early. Mm-hmm. So rebuilding your equipment, it looks like this. So we're going to cover this again, just to make sure we hit the point home. Mm-hmm. So rebuilding equipment looks like this. Sleep that is intentional, not accidental. Nutrition that fuels, not just fills. So that means stop eating fast food. Time that includes recovery, not just responsibility. So what about rebuilding yourself? Mm-hmm. Now go internal again. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about the outside, the equipment part, but let's talk about what's on the inside. Mm-hmm. Because this is where real change happens. You start to check yourself honestly, not surface level, but honestly checking yourself. Not, I'm fine. Not, I got this handled. But real questions. What am I actually feeling? What am I avoiding? What have I never processed? Ooh. What am I actually feeling? What am I avoiding? And what have I never processed? So, I had to start admitting things I've been ignoring for a long time. We had a friend that hit this perfectly. And I'm going to steal her line. You start to play trauma Jenga.
Wasn't it tactical Jenga?
No.
Trauma Jenga?
Trauma Jenga.
Okay.
You start stacking it up, and things get pulled. And is it going to stay up, or is it going to fall?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because some of us have gotten really good at Jenga.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's healthy.
No. Not even in this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's necessary. Oh, wait a minute. That it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. And you can't heal what you won't acknowledge. This is where things like counseling, journaling, and real conversations start becoming tools, not signs of weakness.
Mm-hmm. The biggest shift can be when you start saying things out loud. Because once it's out, it's no longer controlling you in silence.
So now we're rebuilding the connection. So let's talk about connection again. Because isolation is where burnout grows.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oof. Yeah. You have to reconnect, not perfectly, not with all the answers, but honestly. I didn't need to have everything figured out. I just needed to stop shutting people out. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to fix everything. You just have to stop hiding everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that carpet. You stick stuff under the carpet. Well, eventually the carpet gets really big and people start tripping over it.
Right.
So with your spouse, you show up present, not just physically, not just emotionally. With your brothers and sisters in the field, you go deeper than surface level.
Mm-hmm.
You ask real questions. You stay in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Connection doesn't come from us having all of the answers. It comes from being present. And that's what people need from you. Not perfection, but presence.
So, rebuilding your spirit, now that we've come back to your spirit, because this is where all of part 2 has been, is on your spiritual side.
But it's where your restoration happens quietly.
Right. You don't rebuild this through pressure. You rebuild it through consistency and honesty. So simple moments, simple conversations, real connections. I stopped trying to sound like I had it all together and just started being honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. So where things began to shift, you don't need perfect words.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need perfect structure. And you just need real connection.
Mm-hmm.
What recovery actually looks like. I'll set up expectations here because this matters. Recovery is not a moment, it's a process. If you're going to...
You are not going to.
If you're not...
There's no if.
No, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and everything feels completely different. But you will start noticing small shifts, small clarities, small moments of feeling like yourself again. It's like it wasn't one big breakthrough. It was a series of small ones, like the Yankees beating the Rangers. 4 out of 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. You start seeing little glimpses of yourself again, and that's how you start to know that things are changing. Because you won't always feel the change immediately, but the people around you will start to see it.
So here's the hard truth and the final push. I'm going to give you a few things straight, no filter. Like we've had a filter on this show. Come on. You can't ignore this and expect it to go away.
Oof.
You can't bury this, expect it to stay buried. You can't outwork something that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't deal with burnout, it will deal with you.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Dun, dun, dun. In your marriage, in your identity, and in your peace. But here's the other side of that truth. You can come back from this.
Hope and identity.
Mm-hmm. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not beyond restoration.
Read that again. Read that again.
You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not beyond restoration. You are...
Like balls. Fireworks.
You are someone who carried too much for too long without checking the system. And now you're starting to see it.
I wish I would have paid attention sooner, but I'm grateful I didn't wait any longer.
Because there's still so much ahead, and now we get to walk it differently.
Not everything being perfect.
Nope. But things moving in a different direction.
So, the final charge. So, here's what I want you to do after this episode ends.
At what we.
Oh, what we would like.
You're a part of a we.
I'm part of a we.
Yes.
A we, but what?
Never mind.
In the jungle.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So what we want you to do after this episode ends. Not next week.
Not someday.
Today.
See, like the bass in my voice. Today.
So you read on.
Check your equipment. Be honest about where you are physically.
Check yourself. Ask the hard questions you've been avoiding.
Check your buddy. Reach out to someone. And, this is going to hit. Let someone in. Don't overcomplicate it.
Just start.
So, I have a final prayer here as we get into this. So, God, for the one listening right now who feel exhausted in a way they can't explain, who feel disconnected, who feel like they've been carrying more than they can handle, meet them right where they are. Not where they think they should be, but where they actually are. Give them clarity where there is confusion. Give them courage where there is fear. Give them strength to take the next step. Even if it's only a small one, it's still a step. Restore what has been worn down. Reconnect what feels distant. And remind them that they are 100% not alone. Amen. So as we close out today, if this episode hits you, don't ignore it. It's not just emotions, it's awareness. And awareness is where change begins. Mm-hmm. So check your equipment, check your buddy, and check yourself. And as we go through that, you may say, well, I really don't want to check this person. I don't want to check that person. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
Or maybe I want to check all the people, but I don't want to check myself.
The goal behind all of this is to prevent somebody from committing suicide. Mm-hmm. Just a small taste of if you notice somebody on your shift, if you notice somebody in your firehouse, if you notice somebody in your EMS station, if you notice somebody in your dispatch, and they're just a little off, mm-hmm. Ask the hard question. Mm-hmm. Ask them. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, you feel like hurting yourself? Are you going to hurt yourself? That one question could save their life. Mm-hmm. And then don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call. Most departments have somebody to call. You have peer-to-peer.
And if they don't, we're here.
Yeah. Call us.
Call us anytime.
Reach out to us. Let us know. We're here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot us an email. The email is on all of our phones. it goes off, and we're here. It's after the call at jumpmasterlifecoaches.org. And we're here for you guys.
Or maybe you're sitting there thinking, this is me. I am completely burnt out and I could use more advice. Reach out to Jump Master Life Coaches and come and see us.
Yeah, and if you're in Nevada, if you're here in Texas, hey, we got you. We got you. If you're somewhere else and you need somebody that specializes in first responders, hey, reach out to us anyway, and we'll help you find somebody that specializes in first responders. Because at the end of the day, the last thing we want is for you to go into a therapy session and the therapist look at you and go, tell me about your worst day. Because part of me is going to go right to Code 3, that movie, and I'm going to talk about putting the baby in the microwave. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's just me.
But I also think if you have someone who specializes in this, just find somebody to talk to, somebody that will listen to you and give you sound advice. Because I think that we said it before that burnout lives in isolation.
Yeah, 100%.
And when you feel isolated and you feel like you're the only one going through it and everybody else has it together, whether it's at church and you see all those perfect families, or whether if it's work and you see that guy that seems like, or guy or girl that seems like they got it all together.
Or social media.
I saw something once, and maybe we can finish with this, but it says everybody's carrying a load. Just some people carry it differently. So just because someone looks like they're walking tall doesn't mean they're not carrying something heavy. They're just carrying it differently than you are.
Right. We all carry weight differently. It just depends on how you're carrying it.
Yep, exactly.
So one thing we didn't want to talk about today is the tree of Jump Master Life Coaches and Counseling LLC. Incorporated under that is our podcast, which is After the Call. Our workshops that we do. And with that, another workshop that we have is the Jump Master Performance Recovery Doctrine, which is available on Amazon. You can't get the workbook, but you can get the book, and then we can, if you'd like us to come out and teach the workshop, we can do that.
Oh, so you get the workbook specifically specifically for workshop attendees.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. Same thing with Armor and Intimacy, which is our marriage workshop. Same thing. You can't get the workbook unless you sign up for the curriculum or for the class. And then, if you check out Texas 635, myself and a buddy of mine, Hunter Harris, travel around the state of Texas.
365 or is it 635?
635.
Oh, I always thought it was 365.
Texas 635.
Okay.
We go around teaching critical incident stress management to people, different departments. We just taught one a couple months ago in Lubbock to Texas Tech Police Department, who was involved in a shooting, to help them. And we also help other departments that may need some help at something they got going on. Sarah and I
my heart is for the couples. So maybe if you're interested in a first responder exclusive marriage conference, I'd love to get together and talk about all the things.
So our workshops are 3 days, or we can do a 2-day. 1 day is After the Call, the Jump Master Performance Recovery, and then the second day is Armor and Intimacy, going over that stuff. But
talk about all of the things.
Just to throw it out there, it is very raw. We don't pull punches during that.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. No? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Sorry, I don't know where that just came from.
Armor and Intimacy kind of talks about that.
Right.
But, as we do that our store is open. We added some new stuff on there. A new shirt that I'm kind of proud of. That's kind of cool. It says, "Hear me out" on the front, and on the back, it says, "When the drugs stop working." After the call, and then another one that says, "My brothers and sisters have my back." So some stuff on there Donkey Therapy shirts are up and available.
And black sweatpants
Yes.
that say, I am not okay.
No, they say I'm broken.
Oh, okay.
They say I'm broken.
Okay.
Those were a requested item. They are live on our website. We have a total of 102 items on our website right now. So buy a couple, please. Please.
We are rambling at this point.
No, we're not.
No?
We're covering the things we had to cover.
Oh, good.
Donkey Therapy on Sunday, 2 to 4 at Texas Rescue. At the end of the month, they have a car show. It was reminding me today that also Police Week is next week. So if you are in the Granbury area, at 10 o'clock on Saturday is the memorial service.
This Saturday or next Saturday?
This Saturday.
Oh, the day before Mother's Day.
Yes, the day before Mother's Day. So if you're available, please come out. I am doing the invocations. If you'd like to talk, we'll be out there. They're actually honoring 2 canines that passed away this last year. So, yes, if you're available, we would love for you to come out. And,
Where is that going to be? At Memorial Circle?
At Memorial Lane.
Memorial Lane.
Memorial Lane. We'll put some stuff up on our website about it. If you're available, please come out. We have anything else going on?
I don't think so.
Wish us luck tonight is our last softball game. Unless we win, and if we win, then we play on Monday.
When we win,
we play on Monday. So hopefully, I've been working with the girls to try to get them to realize that anybody can get beat on any given day. So
just pray for confidence for those girls because they can do it.
Yes, they just have to
believe that they can.
Focus and believe that they can. But we love you all. We're here. If you need us, hit us up. And with that note, we're exactly 1 hour. So
that clock.
Love you. What? It's that clock right there.
I know. All right.
The other one sounds like deer rustling through the brush. But
bye.
Love y'all. See you soon. Stay frosty and be.